and in there, many of them went over to drugs and alcohol because literally they didn't know who they were. They just followed the crowd. And I know that to be true because I was one of them. Every man in my family got an issue. Everyone. Whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's abuse, something. I didn't want to be like that. So I just stepped down and said, okay, we're going to do Project M.E.N. We're going to take this as far as we can take it. We now have a branch in a short period of time. We now have a branch in New Jersey. We have a branch in Springfield, Illinois, and we also make connections over in Kenya. So we're doing very, very well in helping men find their way. Yes, women are knocking on our doors. Project Women, Project Women. We're constantly hearing that. You know, because what we are interested in is no matter what your age is, what your gender is, what your background is, you have a purpose. There's a reason why you exist, and you got to find that. It has been said that God doesn't make mistakes. Instead, he makes duplicates of himself. The scripture teaches us in Genesis chapter 1:26, let us make man in our own image and likeness. Now, we can confine that to a religion, or we can confine that to a way of life. What are you capable of? What have you not tried? What ideas have you had? Dr. Miles Monroe said, some of you have been sitting on a business idea for the last 20 years, and yet you're still employed because you wouldn't step out and believe God for that idea. Someone told you that you couldn't do it, and you stayed there. And we wonder why our lives are miserable. But we point the finger, and I'm saying this because this is some of the things I did. We pointed the finger, we blame this person and blame that person, but ultimately, it was us. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Someone tells you you're not important, it's up to you to believe that. It's up to you to reject what they're saying because, like I said, I grew up as a young man with low self-esteem. And because I had low self-esteem, I didn't take life seriously. I played it. 20-something-year-old man, I didn't take life serious. But I never gave up on myself. And I'm not going to stop until Project M.E.N. is all over the United States and abroad. Because I know it works. I know it works. We talk to so many different men. We serve the homeless out in the communities every month. We have a mentoring program called Operation Reclaim, where we bring the kids in and we talk to them and we give them a sense of purpose to let them know that no, jail is not the way. You know, how important your academics are. We teach them the foundation of honor, integrity, and respect. Because the love of the parents is being snatched out of the homes. You got children talking back to the parents now, in confrontation with their parents. And if no one steps in and say, hey, this is enough, we was over talking to the youth earlier, and so many ideas was in that room. And one of them said that they had a desire to help the homeless. But there are top officials who are saying that the homeless is an embarrassment. I've heard it. And what I said to them was, if they're pushing, push back. Stay legal, but push back. Because what happens is, if you allow someone to put the fire out of your idea, it will never grow. And then you'll get to the end of your life wondering, why didn't I do it? And you'll see someone else doing the same thing that you had a passion for, but they had a passion to step out, and you didn't. Why are you here? What is your purpose? It's the word make. He said, let us make man. The word make means the physical, mental, and moral constitution or nature of a person. The word make is synonymous to the words form, manufacture, and produce. These are attributes you were born with. You were born with these things. That's why you see great businesses that comes out of people's minds. Because they refuse to settle for mediocre. I'm not talking about making millions of dollars. If you do, great. Use it for a great purpose, such as an event like this. But don't ever let someone tell you that because of your age, your gender, your race, that you can't do what you know you've been born to do. I had several people tell me that Project M.E.N. wouldn't work. My brothers can attest to that. But I refuse to listen. It will work. It's going to work whether I'm here or whether I'm gone. It's going to work because I'm in the business of making an impact. And my idea is I don't allow the vision to be focused on one man. That limits us. We all have gifts and talents. Together we can touch the world, But if it's everything is focused on one man, if the man dies, what happens to the vision? And I'm saying that because so many people turned their noses up at me and said it wouldn't happen. And so I knew I grew up with this low self-esteem, so I had to ask myself, what am I going to do now? So I listened to hours of Les Brown. Hours of Les Brown. I read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, probably 16 times. I can count them. And I kept reading. I have an audio device in my car with possibly over 20 hours of just ebooks that I listen to every day, because your mind is stronger than you think it is. But you have to continue at it. You got to continue at it. You got to continue whatever you put into practice become habits, and habits become lifestyles. But you have to continue to put it into effort. Sometimes you got to get by yourself just to get away from the negativity of people telling you what you can't do. You have to get away from that sometimes and get by yourself and create an atmosphere where you know you can. I didn't wait till people come around me to, get positive people in my life. Sometimes that don't happen. Sometimes it just don't happen. Sometimes you can't get away from the negative people. We living in a technological age now where I can just turn on the audio and I can let Les Brown talk to me all day long, But it's up to you. Les Brown said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. You are what you produce. You are the soil, your thoughts are the seed. What you produce is the fruit. If you don't like the fruit you produced so far, change the seed. As it states in the book of Proverbs, as a man thinks, and a woman, in their heart, so are they. It's totally up to you. I had no idea that people in Kenya would be reaching out. I started something that Dr. Monty was talking about it earlier, morning motivations. And what I wanted, I started out just sending it to the guys. What I would do, I'll go on and give about a 1-minute message. I give a quote, and then I give a scripture, then I give, a small message. That's about 1 minute 20 seconds at the most. I knew people always carry their phones. So the best, I said, I just send it through a text message. So I just send it to the guys, just to inspire them every day. All of a sudden, Brother Kim Waddle came to me one day and said, when you send them to me, I send them out. And he just told me back there, he sent them out to about 500 people. It was just something I was just trying, just to encourage the guys. So as it started to grow, I just kept at it, How long have I been doing it now? For about 1.5 years?
Yeah.
Something like that, about 1.5 years, and it's all across the United States now. All across in Africa now. I have people from Kenya contact me every day about those messages. This coming from the man who didn't believe in himself. This coming from the man who didn't think he had a purpose. This coming from the man who failed twice in high school. But I never gave up, because I pulled Les Brown as my mentor, because his story is similar to mine. And I felt like if he can do it, so can I. God is no respecter of persons. So I kept going. Miles Monroe said, the greatest discovery in life is self-discovery. Until you find yourself, you will always be someone else. Who are you? You. There's no one else on this earth like you. I know you've heard this before. No one else carries your DNA. It's you, your fingerprint. You are original. There's something that you bring to the table. No matter what anyone else says to you, there's something that you bring to the table that only you can bring. Other people may be considered prettier or more handsome. Some people may be considered more articulate, but they're not you. That's the difference. 5 essentials for self-discovery. Number 1, purpose. Why are you here? Find your purpose. Why are you here? Number 2, desire. How bad do you want it? When you desire the answers hard enough, it will come. If the desire is strong, it will come. Number 3, sacrifice. How far are you willing to go to find yourself and your purpose? Every successful endeavor requires a certain level of sacrifice. Let me say that again. Every successful endeavor, no matter what you're doing, every successful endeavor requires a certain level of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something to get to the place where you need to be. You have a powerful message. Powerful. Men need to hear that. Men all over this world need to hear that. So don't let anyone tell you that you don't. What she said back there about you, she's absolutely right. She was absolutely on point. Number 4, perspective. How do you see yourself and your abilities? Your purpose and your perspective of yourself go hand in hand. Your purpose may be the gift, but your perspective is the vehicle that will determine how far you go with it. You may know your purpose. You may understand why you're here. You may have a great idea, but how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself growing this idea? Because if you have a limited vision of yourself, guess what? Your purpose only going to go so far. Because when you get to a certain spot, you're going to stop. You ever seen a dog in the yard and he's chained, and when he can only run so far and the chain pulls him back? Well, many of us are like that in life. We only go so far, then we stop. So who told you that? Who told you that? In scripture it says Moses was 80 years old when he went back and freed the children of Israel. Now I can take these things as and surround it with religion, or I can take these stories and apply it to life. It's all up to you. Number 5, perseverance. Continued effort to do and achieve something despite difficulties, failures, or any opposition. A willingness to go the distance no matter what. What is your purpose? When you stand up before people and you talk about whatever it is you talk about, people are not going to believe it no more than you believe it yourself. I remember when we were in network marketing, someone asked me one time, have you bought the product you're selling? Well, you're trying to sell it to me. You're not even taking it. So how well, whatever it is that you're out here doing, the job that you're working on, and I have to say this, the job that you're working on right now, is that it? As I close, I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite authors, James Allen. He wrote the book called As a Man Thinketh. It says, in all human affairs, there are efforts and there are results. And the strength of the effort is the measure of the result. Chance is not. Gifts, powers, material, intellectual, and spiritual possessions are the fruits of effort. They are thoughts completed, objects accomplished, visions realized. The vision that you glorify in your mind, the ideal that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by, this you will become. Thank you very much.